Ladies and gents, my name is Peridiam, and I'm gonna be honest, I need a laugh. I need a laugh right now, real bad.
What do you mean?
Finding myself in the doldrums of the latest season of Big Brother, I decided to seek out funny. I know, Big Brother, serious stuff, but before I get started, I want to quickly say, I asked y'all on social media for some of your favorite unintentional funny moments, and I'm thinking I may put together another vid where I bring the community's answers into their own video, so stay tuned for that. Comedy is subjective and all, but there are a ton of great answers that could easily fit their own top 5 that I wish were in this video, so I will keep you posted. Bear in mind, this is unintentional comedy, moments that on paper either wouldn't or maybe shouldn't be funny, they weren't intended to be, but I still laughed at them all the same. So without further ado, here's my number 5.
If I were willing to offer you the veto right now, would you take it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would take it. What's the catch?
If you asked me which season of Big Brother is perhaps most forgotten, I might say Big Brother 4. Way back in 2003, this season is a gem for unintentional comedy, particularly with G Cho, June's ex-boyfriend. Between his bad haircut to being in an alliance called the Three Stooges, you know there's magic to be had. My number 5 moment is a strong case of situational irony, where the plot of the episode should be leading to one expected outcome, but instead completely goes in the opposite direction. It's the final 6 of BB4, and G just won HOH. But the producers throw a curveball and have the veto competition held before nominations. The comp is one of my favorites. How far would you go to win the POV? They pull each of the house guests into the DR and ask them individually, would you be willing to win the POV, and then everyone else goes on PB&J, or basically slop for modern Big Brother, for the next month. Everyone turns the offer down, so the producers pitch another offer. Win POV and the rest of the house goes on PB&J for 2 weeks. Still, not good enough. Everyone turns it down. So one final offer is made. Win the POV, and the rest of the house will go on PB&J for 1 week. That's it, just 1 week. And of course, despite being the HOH, only G takes the offer. G has officially won the POV, and the rest of the house is now eating nothing but PB&J sandwiches for the entire week. But you have to understand the context for this. The reason G decided to be greedy is so he could maintain absolute control of the week. His objective was to protect himself and Robert, his number 1 ally, and secure their spots in the final 5, so why not hold all the cards? I'm sure the others would understand. Or would they? After the results of the comp are held, Robert learns that he has to eat PB&J all week, and he is pissed. He is not taking this news well at all.
Put me up now. It's already sucked in here.
Dude, I can't do that, man.
Just put me up. Seriously, I don't want him not going 4 weeks in this house without eating, man.
Mind you, Robert was already on PB&J for the previous 2 weeks, so this was now week number 3 in a row. I do get the frustration. I would probably be pretty mad too if I'd eat PB&J for 3 straight weeks. G has to run outside and console Robert, who threatens to self-evict. And that is what I find so funny about this situation. G took the POV to protect his alliance, yet in the end, the one person who gives him the most pushback and even threatens to leave the game is his only true ally. And then the show flashes to the people in the house, and you have the other players wondering who screwed everyone over, and they all immediately realize it was G. June is living for this moment, watching G be a complete doofus, basically screwing himself over. In his pursuit of maintaining absolute power, his number 1 ally nearly self-evicted. And it's so great because Robert didn't even know that it was G who screwed him over. G is consoling Robert in the backyard without having told him that it was he who ruined Robert's life. Oh God, you couldn't write this better if you tried. Number 4. Speaking of situational irony, if you don't like dark humor, I would probably just skip ahead because this next one is a little dark. In a good way, because no harm befell anyone in the end, but it's still mildly unpleasant, which makes the unintended comedy all the greater. It's week 2 of Big Brother 9, and whoa, hold up, BB9? We're talking BB9? Yeah. Strap in. The week 2 HOH comp is a majority rules A or B comp. If you answer in the majority, you get a point. The tricky part is that the answers of this comp also dictate what is going to be happening in the house that week. For example, would the majority rather have no hot water or no hot food? The majority of the answers decide what happens. So the house gets a bit punished with this comp by design, and this tidbit is going to set up the unintended comedy only a few days later.
What would the majority rather lose for a week? A, eating utensils. B, drinking cups. The majority answered B, drinking cups.
The food competition happens, and half of the house gets put on slop for the week. Particularly of note is Amanda, who is hypoglycemic. As someone with a family member who is diabetic, I speak from experience when I say that having low blood sugar levels is not a pleasant experience for the person and for the people who have to deal with the person. Amanda is hypoglycemic, and she needs sugar to maintain herself. And slop isn't a great diet. Of course, you can put sugar in slop, so it's not unavoidable, just it's a little dicey. Playing with fire, big brother. What's about to go down is absolutely bonkers. First, another house guest, Allison, has a major allergic reaction to something. She wasn't on slop, but I'm not exactly sure what caused it. But she rushes herself to the diary room, and a nurse is called in because Allison can't breathe. But then, moments later, after Allison rushes herself to the DR, on a completely unrelated note, by sheer circumstance, Amanda passes out due to low blood sugar levels. She begins convulsing, and everyone in the house is in a panic. Meanwhile, production is treating Allison, and then they rush out to treat Amanda as well. The nurse gives Amanda some liquid to swallow, and this is where the unintentional comedy comes up. The nurse needs someone to get Amanda a cup of water. So someone rushes to the kitchen and then comes back and is like, "We don't have any glasses." Oh my god. Okay, so remember the HOH comp that I brought up earlier, where the house lost hot water? Well, they also had the choice to lose either their drinking cups or eating utensils, and they chose the cups. Of all times. Of all times. So they have no cups to help Amanda. So they suggest getting a bowl of water. Get a bowl! The whole thing is just kind of absurd. It's really absurd. They had no way to reasonably transport the water to a convulsing woman.
You have a glass?
Go get a glass. Get a glass.
We don't have any glass.
Or get a bowl.
You guys went through both milk? There's no milk in it.
Oh yeah, and the cherry on top of this whole moment is when we get a quick shot of Adam standing in the background holding an actual bowl of water. Oh man. I cannot. Number 3.
Then don't.
Disgusting. Disgusting. I can't believe on my daughter's birthday that you would drag my name through the mud like this.
Yep. Number 3 is Big Brother 20 Rockstar versus Brent. Over 20 seasons, and I'm glad that this show can still bring some of the best moments in reality TV history. I think most of y'all know this one like it was your own child's birthday, but yeah, where to start? Rockstar and Brent had a very cartoonish rivalry in Big Brother 20. They definitely were rivals, but then you get moments like these where it is so comical, it transcends any bitter emotions between the two. Basically, Brent was on the block come eviction night in week 3. Brent is up against his best bro, Winston, who are both members of the Level 6 Alliance. Level 6 decides to save Brent, while the opposing alliance, Faute, decide to save Winston. The numbers are 6-5, and thus Brent stays, but during his eviction speech, he sells a fake story to the house about how Rockstar was secretly working with him and shouldn't be trusted, and basically threw her under the bus on live national television, despite none of what he said actually being true. So then Brett doesn't even get evicted, and right after Winston walks out of the house, Rockstar just goes off on Brett for not only lying so bold-faced, but also doing it on her daughter's birthday. The nerve. Because it was Rockstar's daughter's birthday, or pretty close to it, I think. And how dare he do that to her?
I can't believe on my daughter's birthday that you would drag my name through the mud like this.
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Throw me in the mud like that. You are disgusting.
BB20 is rife with unintentional humor, but this one moment absolutely takes the birthday cake. Number 2. Number 2 is absolutely genius. You might even say it's genius. It's week 5 of Big Brother 8, and the veto competition is underway. This is the season with the Donatos, Dick and Danielle, Eric, who is America's player, and of course, the unforgettable and perhaps underrated Jen Johnson. Eric is the target for a backdoor, and this veto competition is one of my favorites. It's that just how bad do you want the veto comp. Similar to the G1 from Big Brother 4. But this one is way tougher. The house guests have to undergo punishments to stay in the comp, such as choosing how many hours they want to dunk their head in basically poop slime, as well as how many days over the next month they will subject themselves to eating nothing but slop. Oh yeah, also, bunny suits. Gotta have the bunny suits. If you put down the lowest number, you're out. But if you put the highest number, you have to undertake the punishment. So the strategy is to try and be somewhere in the middle. Jen, of course, is fighting for her life in the game. She's on the block. Meanwhile, Jamaica, who isn't the target, is fighting to protect Eric from getting backdoored. Jamaica is the only person in the comp after the first round to be fighting for Eric. Everyone else is fighting to backdoor him. The weight of the world is on Jamaica's shoulders for Eric's game, for the good of her alliance, and for the grace of God. The second to last punishment is brutal, really brutal. Of the next 5 HOH competitions, how many of them would you willingly sit out of? Jamaica and Kale both say 5, which is a serious endeavor. They're already at the final 10 veto. This means Jamaica can't play in an HOH until the final 4. Jen brilliantly says 4, which means that she's not eliminated and also doesn't have to undergo the punishment, because Danielle said 3. Holy crap. Jen's a genius.
Jamaica gave up 5 HOH contests. I don't know what she was thinking. I think that was kind of dumb.
And in the end, this move saves Jen as she willingly gives up 250 grand to win the veto. That is one expensive veto. Neither Kale nor Jamaica were willing to sacrifice half of the prize money just to stay in the competition, which is pretty damn fair, although looking back, I would say that 250 is probably better than 0.
How much of that prize money, up to $250,000, would you be willing to give up to win the golden power of veto?
You don't have to pay money.
But Jamaica is torn up about what she just did. She fought tooth and nail to save Eric from a looming backdoor. With Jen winning this veto, Eric is for sure going up in Jen's place. And what does Jamaica have to show for it? Now she can't win HOH for the next 5 weeks. Amber consoles Jamaica, tells her it's God's plan. Their alliance will just win the next 5 HOHs and none of this matters. Spoiler alert, they only win 2. Jamaica bursts into tears and goes to the side of the backyard to wallow and to pray to God. It's a very personal moment. Jamaica is very religious, and the editors even include some slightly religious music in the background, and from a game perspective, I really do feel bad for her. She's crying her eyes out, asking for help, living on a prayer.
You are not Mother God, you are not Father God.
Oh, can we get white belts in here? This is horrible. Now I'll hide the eggs.
Yep, that's the moment. Nailed it. Thanks, Jen. Jen walks right in front of the camera and gives us unintentional comedy gold. I've rewatched this dumb little moment so many times. Never mind Jamaica crying her eyes out right behind you, the real pressing matter is the absolutely horrendously mismatched coloring between the black belt and the white bunny suit. Seriously, producers, could you not shell out a few extra bucks for a decent looking outfit? There's some poetry in the emphasis of the juxtaposed editing with the juxtaposed belt colors, and I am glad it took a genius such as Jen to obviously point it out. Number 1. Here we go. The grand tour de force of unintentional comedy in the history of Big Brother, and it is easily, without a doubt, it was number 1 the whole time. It is the saddest happy birthday song you will ever hear.
Keisha's birthday, Dan, was, I think,
Comfortable.
all-time uncomfortable situation in the Big Brother house was Keisha's birthday.
It's week 4 of Big Brother 10. It is Keisha's birthday. After several hours of fighting between everyone in the house, the whole tornado of arguments, accusations, yelling, kicking, screaming, and helium leaving Keisha's lungs all culminates in Keisha getting a really ugly birthday cake with a really ugly birthday song to go along with it. Despite the ugliness, it really is a moment of beauty in BB history. Like a series of really satisfying dominoes falling perfectly, one slight comment sets off another, which then sets off another, which leads to this really sad state of affairs by the end of the night. I'm going to include a link in the description down below if you want to watch the entire series of events. It's pretty long and it's gold start to finish. I recommend watching it just because the context for the hilarity of the climax is just as important as the grand finale itself. There's actually a lot of great unintended humor before the birthday song kicks off. Rennie says one line that my wife and I quote all the time.
You have to stop talking to people like that.
I didn't
Talk to them. You're sticking fingers in people's faces, damn it.
Okay, this
It's
is great.
inappropriate.
This
It's
is great.
inappropriate.
Between Jesse napping and then slapping the DR camera in excitement to Libra, Keisha, April, Jesse, and Ollie arguing at the same time, to Jerry randomly walking in and then snapping at Keisha, to then have Rennie walking in and then snapping at Jerry, to then have Memphis walk in after Rennie leaves so that he can defend himself for being happy that everyone is arguing. Amusingly, Dan is the only one who never says a word, just sort of sits in the middle of the hurricane reading the Bible. Of course, you can't make this stuff up. Eventually, everyone walks out and goes into the kitchen because despite all the bickering, a cake was made earlier in the day because it's Keisha's birthday, of all days. That being said, Keisha, I am very thankful that you were not only born, but born on this day. And the awkward formality of having said so many brutal personal remarks to one another from pretty much the entire cast, just to then have everyone standing in the same room singing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday, dear Keisha. Happy birthday to you.
Anybody want cake?
Well, guys, I'll never forget this birthday. Thanks so much. I can promise all of you that.
For some reason, Michelle gets into the fray. She's trying to like smooth out the argument, but then ends up just making it worse. Keisha somehow swallows 6 more balloons of helium, and then finally Libra apologizes for the passive aggressiveness that caused this entire debacle to unfurl in the first place. And then Jesse says the douchiest thing ever, and the fighting commences once again.
Since we're apologizing, I'm sorry for being honest.
Do you guys even know what how the fight started or what it's about?
Oh, no. I know exactly what the fight's about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what the fight's about.
I'm kind of cheating because this is basically a top 5 in one placement. There are so many great little nuggets of comedy throughout this entire series of events. I could pretty much sit down and break down this entire fight for fun, and that would be my own video, but whatever. Unintentional comedy gold, platinum, diamond. And that is going to be my top 5 unintended comedic moments in Big Brother history. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely did. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, what are some of your favorite unintended comedic moments in Big Brother? Like I said at the top of the video, I'm considering another video with your guys' suggestions because I know there's a lot of stuff out there that I didn't get to cover, and honestly, at the state of things right now, I kind of just want to laugh a little more. So let me know your favorites. But either way, whether you laughed or cried or sang along, my name is still Peridiam saying thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to buy the copyright for the Happy Birthday song so you can sing it at your next Bitter family reunion on the way out, and I will see you in the next one once I swallow 6 balloons myself and then scream at the top of my lungs.
Come on, Keisha.
See what I have to deal with?
Don't laugh.
Right.
You're making an ass out of yourself in front of America.
Who celebrates New Year's first, New York or California?
New York, because they're an hour ahead of me.
Yeah,
and then
ahead,
us, and
ahead.
then y'all.
Ahead.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's Central Time, ass.
But I'm saying it's 8 o'clock in California. What time is it in New Orleans at this minute?
6 o'clock.
Okay. You're right, Randy. The international time zone's been flipped.